Okay, remember we are practicing respond to text questions because this year on the FSA, you will, in addition to doing multiple choice questions, you'll also have to do written response questions. And those response questions should be at least 3 sentences long. Sometimes the questions are so juicy and so good, they could be 5 to 7 sentences. So we're going to practice that skill now. Remember, the first step is to pretend like the story is not there. Go to the end of the story and read the question. If you read the question ahead of time, you know what to underline and mark in your story. Know that I expect to see marks on your story. If I was walking near you taking the test in your classroom, I'd want to see you marking up the story. If you turn in this file, I want to see you marking up the story. The question says, use evidence from the story to summarize the 5 arguments for more year-round schools. So I want to highlight that. So anytime I see an argument for having more year-round school, I'm going to underline it. Should school be year-round? Many students say that June is the best time of year. In most places, school lets out as summer begins. Some students don't spend summers at home or at camp, though. They are in school instead. That is because they go to year-round schools. Students in some year-round schools go to school the same number of days as students in schools with a long summer break. They get mini breaks throughout the year instead of one long summer break. The mini breaks are a few weeks long. For example, students at some year-round schools get a few weeks off at Thanksgiving instead of just a few days. More and more schools are becoming year-round places of learning. The National Association for Year-Round Education states that the number of students in year-round schools tripled from 1990 to 2000. By 2001, there were about 3,000 year-round schools. Is your school year-round? If not, would you want it to be? Read the arguments that follow. Yes, schools should be year-round. Year-round schools are better than schools with a long summer break. Students in year-round schools have more breaks. Underline that. They get to enjoy time off in every season. Ooh, that's a good one. Underline that. Year-round schools allow families to plan vacations at times other than summer. Underline that. Students in year-round schools are less likely to have to miss school for a trip that isn't in the summer. Frequent breaks are good for students. Underline that. They have less stress when they go back to school after a short break. They become more eager to learn. One student said, "I love it. Just about the time I'm really tired, I get a break." Breaks also give teachers time to plan better lessons. Underline that. Teachers in schools with a long summer break are so busy teaching that they have less time to plan lessons for their classes. Students in year-round schools tend to remember what they learn. Underline that. That is because their breaks aren't too long. Teachers don't have to spend time going over things that students have forgotten over the summer. Oh, because the break's too long in the summer. I get it. Students have forgotten over the summer. I'm just going to underline that short part. All schools should be year-round. No, schools should not be year-round. Year-round schools are a bad idea. Let me read more. Okay. Summer is a great season. Students should be able to enjoy their summers fully. Most families plan vacations over the summer. Year-round schools restrict summer family vacations. They also don't allow students to go away to camp or take on summer jobs to earn money for the future. Too many breaks disrupts learning. The breaks allow teachers to focus on a topic for only a few weeks. During mini breaks, students are away from school long enough to forget what they learned. In schools with a long summer break, lessons are not broken up by frequent breaks. Teachers can spend more time on a topic. Teachers also don't have to plan around as many breaks. Summer can also be very hot. Many schools don't have air conditioning. How can students learn in a hot classroom? Christopher Newland, a researcher at Auburn University, said that year-round schools do not help students learn. Newland said the evidence is that it would be as useful as changing the color of the school buses. Schools with long summer breaks work just fine. There's no need to change to year-round schools. So now the question, remember, says, summarize the 5 arguments for more year-round schools. Now, was there 5? Let's see. I'm going to call this number 1. Allow families to plan vacations. Good for students. Breaks. I'm going to call this number 2. The one that says they can plan better lessons. Number 3 is they'll learn better. And then number 4. Teachers don't have to spend time going over. That can be number 4. And then I guess, so they could enjoy time off in every season. And I'm going to call this number 5. Keeps them from being stressed out. Okay. So now let's restate the question. Sort of. Let's see if we can even do that. It says, I'll borrow some words from the question to restate it. Oopsie daisy. Ready. There are 5 good reasons to have more year-round schools. So I borrowed, I should change it to arguments. Then I'm borrowing more words and I'm restating the question. There are 5 good arguments to have 5 good arguments for having more year-round schools. One of the arguments is that year-round schools let students have a break or vacation in every season. This makes it easier for families to plan vacations. I'm already up to 3 sentences, I think. That was one argument. Another argument is that frequent breaks help students learn better because they are not so stressed out, period. 4 sentences. Let's cross off what I've already used. This one I used. This one I used. So we've got better lessons by the teachers. So this time plan lessons, students tend to remember. Long breaks will make them not remember. Going over the summer. Okay, so in addition, use a transition word from our class. Year-round schools allow teachers the time to plan better lessons. Teachers can use the time in class very effectively because they are not reteaching things the students forgot over a long summer break period. So I think we have one more. So we did this one. cross you off. And then we did that one. Finally, another transition word, finally, students in year-round schools learn better because of the frequent breaks. There we go. So, if I had to score this a 3, a 2, or a 1, what would you give it? Think about it. Now, tell me why would you give it to that? I think I'd give myself a 3 because I answered and I gave 5 reasons why they should have more year-round school. I underlined the evidence and I summarized the evidence in my answer, and I did not copy and paste. I didn't take exactly what they said. I read it and then I restated it in my own words. I borrowed some words, that's allowed, but because I wasn't even looking at the part that I was reading, I was able to summarize it from my memory, okay? Hopefully this helped you.